Hello everyone! So today I've decided to recreate my signature smoky eye, and what's great about this look is that it requires little to no precision. I kept the skin almost bare, focusing more on skincare than coverage. So to begin, I'm going to feed my skin some moisturizing primer because at the moment it's like the Sahara Desert and it just needs a little bit of moisture. Next, taking a multi-purpose balm, maybe you like the Elizabeth Arden 8-Hour Cream, I'm going to be applying that balm onto my lips just to prep them for any lipstick we're going to be using. Now you know this step is 100% essential, douse your face in some moisturizing face mist. Now since this look is all about the eyes, I'm really going to modernise the look by keeping the skin very fresh and minimal. I'm using a product similar to MAC Face and Body and I love it so far. It kind of has an oily consistency but it goes on beautifully. Now to really tame those brows, I'm applying some of that balm in my eyebrows and then brushing them upwards to make sure they stay in place and do as they're told, basically. Using a brow pencil, I'm just softly brushing in my arch of my brow to make them look less groomed and more kind of natural, I guess. To add some definition to my brows, I just applied some clear brow gel. After years of using concealer-like eye primers, it's really refreshing to use this Byterry eye primer. It kind of has a mousse-like consistency and even though it doesn't give as much coverage as most primers, it's just amazing to work with, so I encourage you to try it if you haven't. So to further prep the lids and get rid of any yellowness we have going on from the eye primer, I'm just using a nude matte shadow all the way over the lids up into the brow bone. This can also highlight the brow bone, and in addition to that you can also use this step instead of using an eye primer. So I'd like to introduce you to my latest obsession, which is the Smashbox Trio eyeshadow palettes, and for this look I'm using the colour Covershoot, and I'm taking the highlight shade all over the lid to add some iridescence and a little bit of interest, and then I'm taking the medium shade, which also has a little bit of iridescence but it's not too overpowering for a daytime look, and I'm applying that in the outer third of the eye, blending up to the crease. Now what I love about this look and what makes it so easy is actually the brush that I'm using. Because it's so dense and round, i.e. it's called the domed multi-brush, it just makes blending so easy and you can really control where the colour goes, so you don't end up with a really messy smoky eye, but something that you can really control the shape. Now for this shape I did more of a rounded kind of outward eye. I wouldn't call it a cat eye, but I'd definitely call it kind of a lifted eye, if you will. Now taking two light shades, you could even use your face powder to do this mixed with a white eyeshadow. I'm blurring out any edges where the blending wasn't 100% perfect and I'm just softening any harsh shapes. So now I'm taking the deepest shade in the palette and I'm going to work on building up the outer corner. Now since my eyes are slightly hooded and I don't have that much lid space, I really need to focus on building the colour above the crease, specifically on the outer corner. And I personally find this shape the most flattering on myself, so you can really do whatever you feel most comfortable doing, but generally this shape pretty much suits everyone. Now going back to that lighter shade in the palette, I'm just going back to add the highlights back in and also to the inner corner. So here's where the fun part begins. Let's take a black waterproof pencil and line the waterline, preferably one that doesn't budge. Then take a matte black eyeshadow to soften that line and bring the eye a little bit down so it doesn't look so teeny tiny and small. Then I'm taking a bigger blending brush and just really buffing out that black shadow to make it look messy, like you've just woken up after a night out. Then I'm adding some of that soft taupe under the eye. Then to balance out the eye, I'm going to take some of that black shadow on top of the lid, really buffing it into my lash line and smoking it out using a bigger brush to really give a diffused look. Then curling my lashes and adding some mascara. Not too fond of this mascara, but I thought I'd try it out for the sake of the video. Also, don't forget your bottom lashes, they need some love too. Now to transform this eye into more of an evening appropriate attire, I'm going to be using a metallic chubby stick, who came up with that name, onto the lid and just blending it out softly with my fingers. So now is basically a good time to use any of your unloved eyeshadow sticks. So for concealer today I'm mixing two concealers, mainly because one of them is a little bit on the peachy yellow side, and I really do think with smoky eyes it really does call for a concealer, especially if you're using something with a cool purple undertone, because it really can mirror any unsightly shadows that we may have. And here comes the bronzer. So I'm just buffing this bronzer all over my skin. This is a beautiful bronzer because it's not flat. It has a little bit of shimmer, but it's very refined shimmer, shall I say, and it also has a little bit of a gradient effect, so I'm going to apply some of that golden shimmer to my face. Now for lipstick, I'm going to take a deeper nude than I normally would use, and I love this one because it's so deeply hydrating and it just feels like silk sheets. And rub those lips together. And I'm just brushing that all over my lip because I don't want it to be too precise. This is all about a lived in, sexy, just woke up look. And I'm taking a lighter pink nude, one of my favourites in fact, by Jouer Cosmetics. And I'm applying that in the middle because I want my lips to look fuller. Obviously it's 2015, who doesn't? So there you have it, my signature smoky eye. And don't forget to tag me or let me know if you decide to recreate this look. And maybe you could even use it for Valentine's Day, which is coming up pretty soon, and I'm starting to wonder what my husband's doing for me, or even if he's remembered. Let's keep our fingers crossed. Bye!